alive, staying alive, staying alive. So this week we're in Prshirat Vayechi, which means "and he lived," but it's actually the parasha in which Yakov Avinu passes away, maybe continues living on through his children. So right before he dies, he gathers all his children and he says, I want to tell you what is going to happen in the end of days. And who wouldn't want to know what's going to happen down the road? When is Mashiach going to come? How is this story going to end up? And when is everything going to be good already? So he gathers them all. It's like he has this incredible clarity moments before he passes away, where you can really see everything crystal clear all the way down the road. But
then he starts telling them, instead of what's going to be in Acharit Hayamim at the end of the days, he starts telling each son what his characteristic is.
He gives them in these individual blessings. So the Midrash explains that Yaakov wanted to share this information with them, but Hashem didn't want him to. And so as he opened his mouth, all this wisdom, all this clarity disappeared. And I was thinking how this desire of ours to already be at the end of the process is something that I can really relate to. I feel like especially nowadays, there's so much suffering. Just this week, we sang at an evening where family members shared the story of two hostages, Gali and Ziv Berman from Kfar Aza. And there's so much pain and suffering, and we would all just like to be already at the end. The image that came to my mind is, I'll be speaking a little bit to the women here, is of giving birth. How a lot of times, if I think how much longer, then in the end, that makes me feel much weaker. But if I focus just on the here and now, on getting through this next contraction, one breath at a time, one contraction at a time, slowly, we do make progress and we do move forward. So maybe that's what Hashem was trying to teach us here, that even though we have this desire to already be at the end of the process, we need to just take this one step at a time.
Because that our job here is to be active and to be doing and not to be waiting and passive for that day to come. We have to bring that day. We have to be the active ones in this process.
And maybe that's what the Yaakov's blessings were actually telling us, telling each one of his children who he is, what his strengths and weaknesses are, and how they can try and be the best version of themselves.
For example, Shimon and Levi, they're warriors. They have a lot of anger in them. Use it in the right way. Reuven could be a bit impulsive, but he's always the one jumping forward and doing, so use that in the right way. Yehuda, be a leader like you are. And even says, what they're going to do, where they're going to live. Yehuda, you're going to live in the hills of Judea. You're going to have red eyes from wine and white teeth from milk, high mountains for vineyards, and going down to the Judean desert place to herd your sheep.
And hopefully that way all of us together, one step at a time, can get closer and closer to those end of days, to a better world, a world that's not broken. Today is also an important date in the Jewish calendar. It's Asara B'Tevet,
the day of where the siege on Jerusalem started. And it's also part of this whole long process that we're going through. The siege began, then there was destruction, but then we rebuild ourselves and got destroyed again. And here we are, rebuilding the state of Israel, and in this long process, getting closer and closer towards the Geula Shlema. So we're going to sing now a verse, a pasuk from this parasha. Hamalach hagoel oti is the blessing that Yaakov gave his grandchildren.
It's something that we actually sing to our children before they go to sleep as a lullaby. And the words translate that may the angel who protected me from all harm also bless these children, and may they be named after me and my forefathers.
Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hane'arim, v'yikarev bahem shemi. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hane'arim, v'yikarev bahem shemi. B'shem avotai, b'shem avotai, Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yitgu la'rov, v'yitgu la'rov, b'kerev Shabbat Shalom.